Ariel Helwani at UFC 206 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, with a very special guest, the 2015 American League Most Valuable Player, the star of your Toronto Blue Jays, the one and only Josh Donaldson. And Josh, I talk to a lot of fighters. I am fanboying out deep down inside because a lot of people know I'm a huge fan of yours, so this is an honor for me. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're a big MMA fan as well.
Huge. I've been following it, ever since the Ken Shamrock, Horse Gracie days. I've always been. I got introduced to it at a pretty young age, and I've been a fan ever since.
You were recently in Florida, and by the way, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old?
We don't need to talk
I can't.
about that.
I can look it up on Wikipedia, but I won't press that.
31.
31. Okay. No, not bad. You're in Florida, and you find out the UFC's here in Toronto, and then you have this special training session with Wonderboy Thompson. Explain what happened.
Yeah, it was after he just had his last fight or whatever. I had mentioned him in a couple of tweets and on social media, and he reached back out to me, and I was like, hey man, don't be scared to put me in the gym and let's train a little bit. Sure enough, I got a call about a week later. Fight's gonna be here in Toronto. I love coming back here. It just kind of worked out to where both of us could get up here, and we were able to do a little sparring. He was showing me a few techniques today, and it was one of those things where it was pretty surreal for me because I'm a huge fan of his. I've been a fan of his before people kind of really knew who he was. Okay. And to be able to be in there and mix it up with him a little bit and him kind of, walk me through some things was cool.
Is this something that you think in a different lifetime? Because you have that sort of style. You're rough and tough. You're a gritty player. You could have gone down this path?
I'm pretty sure if, when I was younger, if UFC might have been as popular as it is today, that might have been a direction that I went. Yeah. But I'm to the point right now where I gotta protect this, the moneymaker. Of course. I don't want to get hit too many times.
In the middle of the season, I saw you do this. It was so insightful. You were on MLB Network television, and you were talking about swinging and moving your hips, and I'm wondering if you think that there is a correlation, like when you were working out today with Brandon Gibson and Wonderboy, between what you do at the plate and what people like Wonderboy do.
It's amazing how many similarities there are in a lot of sports where you're trying to be efficient and you're trying to be powerful because you're trying to create different types of angles. You're trying to be as quick as possible and powerful at the same time. So we were actually kind of doing some movements and stuff like that. I was like, dude, that's almost how I hit there. When we were doing some kicks and we're standing there and, we're moving our feet this way and then how we're firing the hips. And there's different mechanics for each phase of the body. And that's another thing that I appreciate about, fighters and, athletes in general who really take control of knowing their body and knowing what they're trying to do instead of just relying on raw ability, because there's a lot of people who have raw ability. Yeah. But I feel like people who kind of take it to that next step and have that sustained success are people that, take it to the next step and understand what their body's actually doing and how to do it.
I follow you on social media, obviously, and I've seen that.
I followed you back.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. It made my day. Trust me. I was way too happy about that. I've seen that you guys actually. I know you were in Vegas not that long ago for a Conor fight with some of the other players. Yeah. During the season, are you guys able to get together and watch these fights?
Every.
Some of the other big fans that you watch with.
Everybody pretty much on our team.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we have a pretty good solid group of guys. When we were in Cleveland, I'm from the South, so you're gonna forgive me, Stephen. You're gonna tell me to say his last name. The champ, heavyweight champ.
Stipe Miocic.
Yeah. See.
Big Indian fan.
I'm just a Southern boy.
All good.
The fact of the matter is, we were able to see his fight, and we kind of. Meet him and stuff like that, and that was surreal for a lot of guys, because these guys are we do our thing, and we don't really pay too much attention to that. And then when you meet guys who are on their level, it's awesome. And I think from definitely following me, I've been a huge McGregor fan. Yes. And I love the guy's swag, and I love it how the guy goes about his business, and not only does he go about his business, but he kind of tells you what's going to happen, and then it happens. just like his last fight. He said, hey, I probably should knock the guy out in the first round, but if he wants to hang around, maybe the second round, it'll probably happen in the second. What'd he do? That's what he did.
Is that your favorite fighter?
You know, he's definitely he's been a big favorite of mine for a while. But I mean, after having the workout session with Wonderboy and stuff today, I've been a big fan of his as well, and so he might have.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also recently interviewed Rory McDonald.
I did.
I saw that. Great job as a journalist, by the way. Good questions. You were very engaging.
Well, you know,
I'm totally buttering you up here and kissing your ass.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job of that, making me look great. But Rory, he's, you know, I remember him when they were talking about he was going to be the next GSP, and that was also, it was great to be able to talk. And you know, normally when I talk to people, you know, I mix in a little trash talk too, and you know, obviously I had to, you know, challenge him and see how. I said, hey, how long do you think before it would take you to knock me out? And then I started throwing some punches. And at first he was like, oh, I'll give you a minute and a half. And then I threw a couple of punches. He's like, oh, probably 30 seconds.
And he's gone, by the way. You know that, right? He's in Bellator. Will you follow him there?
Yeah, I mean, I liked all mixed martial arts.
Okay.
So I kind of, you know, I definitely, there are some things that Bellator, I think that they're doing a nice job with too. But obviously UFC's at the top of the game right now. And, but Rory, he's definitely a guy that when I see him and know that he's fighting, I definitely will pay attention.
You have time for two more?
Yeah.
A very hot topic in our sport these days is, should the fighters unionize? Should there be an association? They're not getting enough. They want revenue sharing. They compare themselves to, you know, the baseball players, the basketball players, football players. Do you follow this sort of thing? Do you know the state of what their situation is like? Would you advocate that?
I definitely, I saw bits and pieces of it. I don't know the entire, you know, background and everything that's going on, but I can only speak kind of from our experiences, and our union has been very good for us, and you know, has made sure that the players are taken care of, and you know, not only financially for performances on the field, but you know, as far as health standards are concerned, and that's definitely been very beneficial to us. And you know, I definitely think if I was a fighter, I would want that.
Sure, of course.
If I was a fighter, I would want that. If I was the businessman owning the UFC, then I might not, because it comes with different things.
I would be remiss if I don't ask you about the upcoming season. You guys, the squad, helped regain my love for the sport, and a lot of us fans are worried that Edwin is going to leave. Batista's going to leave.
Yeah.
There was some talk of Dexter Fowler joining the team. That did not happen. Some other names have come and gone, but no real activity this offseason. Are you content with the way things are going?
I can say this. I can't speak on if we're going to sign Eddie back or Batista. Would I want those guys back? Of course I would. They've been great teammates to me, great friends of mine. I was actually just hanging out with them just a few days ago.
What are they saying? Give us a scoop.
Well, I mean, you know, I can't.
Are you upset?
I don't.
Not feeling the love?
They're gonna find love wherever it may
Will it be here though?
I hope so.
Okay.
For our sake, I hope so. But I think where we need to get focused back onto is, I think that we have a great core group of guys that are going to lead this team, and whatever pieces that are added, we already have the core group there that we feel that can take this to the next level and win a World Series. And that's been our goal for the last couple of years now. And you know, we feel that we keep getting close and close and close, and we feel like we're ready to take that next step.
Let's keep Gibby around too. I know he's got a year left, and you and him had your little thing in New York. I think it was
Gibby
the
and
cologne. I followed it all.
Yeah, Gibby. Yeah, see, you are
the tweet.
See, now you're.
I'm trying to hit you.
You're hitting me with some of that knowledge.
Yeah.
But Gibby and I,
you guys are cool.
We are really. It's almost like a father-son relationship. You know, sometimes you get you and your father have a spout. Take your whipping like a man, you know, and then you go about your business the next day. And I think we both learned from the situation, and we had a good time with it, and we really enjoy, honestly, being around each other and being a part of the same organization.
Great. What a thrill this has been for me. Thank you so much. I just want to say on the record, Chris Sale, David Price. I don't care who the Red Sox have.
I don't either.
We got Stroman,
Yeah.
Estrada. I'm totally losing all journalistic.
Sanchez.
Yeah, I was going through the list.
Hap.
I mean, the who's who. Maybe we'll get Liriano back, right?
No, he's there. He's coming
Yeah,
back.
okay.
Yeah.
We lost a couple of the relievers, but that's not a big problem, right?
I think from my conversations with Ross and Mark, they are very, very smart and intelligent with the decisions that definitely come on the pitching side of it. And their reputation speaks for that. You look at the Indians who were in the World Series this year who, just happened to beat us.
Right.
They built that organization.
Right.
And their biggest part of that team was their pitching staff. We did that last year, and I think they're going to take that to the next step.
Okay, I've taken up too much of your time. Thank you so much,
No,
really.
thank you.
The
I
day
appreciate
before Thanksgiving, night before Thanksgiving, when you slid home, I woke up my entire family. I freaked the hell out. I was like a little kid. It was unbelievable. You have single-handedly, as I said to you off camera, regained my love for the sport. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I wish you continued success. And please stay here until the Expos come back, which they will. Then we'd love to have you in Montreal, all right?
Montreal.
That would be nice.
We played a few games there. We had a great time.
That's right. Enjoy the night, and again, thank you so much.
Thank you.